Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we are going to compare two bounty hunting vessels, the Anvil Hawk and the Avenger Stalker, trying to figure out which one is going to be the best solo bounty hunter vessel, always of course based on the info we have right now. Since the first moment the Anvil Hawk was revealed, I wanted to take a closer look at this new little vessel of the Star Citizen universe and its capabilities, and the best way to figure out how effective of a bounty hunter is going to be is to compare it with another solo bounty hunter, the Avenger Stalker, which is one of the most beloved vessels of Star Citizen. Let's not forget that comparing two vessels that are in a different state can be difficult and a tricky business, but at the same time challenging and a lot of fun. The Hawk is not yet implemented in game, and by the time it will be fly ready, its info and stats can and probably will have changed. The Hawk was in its white box phase when its own Q&A was answered, so things will probably change a bit. We will have to wait in the coming months to see how drastic these changes are going to be. The Stalker, on the other hand, is already in game. You can fly with it and you can have fun in the persistent universe with this variant of the Avenger series, but it is also waiting for its own rework to happen that will make it a bigger and in general a better vessel. Having said that, let's go ahead and take a look at these two vessels and their capabilities, and in order to figure out which one is going to be the best solo bounty hunter, we have to remember how the devs want bounty hunting to work. According to the latest info, the goal of a successful bounty hunter will be to not kill his target, but subdue him, so they can take him to an advocacy office and collect the reward. And the reward will depend on whether or not the criminal was alive when delivered to the advocacy office. So a successful bounty hunter will be subduing his targets instead of killing them. And we are going to focus on this little detail in order to figure out if the Hawk or the Avenger Stalker is going to be the best solo bounty hunter. To subdue successfully a target, there are three things that matter to me. First of all, the speed, how fast can you be and how fast you can reach your target. The specialized equipment that will help you to neutralize your target without killing them, and the equipment in your vessel that will allow you to transport subdued criminals to an advocacy office in order to collect the reward. Let's start with speed and the Avenger Stalker. The Stalker in 3.0 is a fast vessel. Its SCM speed can go up to 250 meters per second, but where it shines is with its afterburner speed that can reach 1308 meters per second. This means that the Stalker is an excellent vessel to pursue your target, especially if they are in a bigger vessel like a Cutlass Black, and try to disable them in order to capture them alive. The Hawk speed, on the other hand, is the biggest controversy around this little new vessel. According to the info from the devs, its SCM speed can go up to 200 meters per second, which is 50 less meters per second than the Avenger Stalker. Something that doesn't really matter, but will probably mean that the Stalker will have an advantage in case of a dogfight. And the biggest drawback seems to be its afterburner speed, which is at 500 meters per second. That is super slow, and at first I thought it was an error. The developers in the Q&A weren't very clear about this speed, and they didn't say if this is going to be the final speed or not. What they have said is that the Hawk will rely most on approaching its target and trying to disable them before being noticed, rather than being fast, try to reach their targets in that way. So if the speed of the Hawk, the afterburner speed of the Hawk remains as it is, the Avenger Stalker has a huge advantage already, but I think this afterburner speed is going to change, it is going to be corrected. It is going to be closer to 1.2k meters per second, in my opinion. We will have to wait and see. As you can imagine, speed is really important because you will have to reach your target, but then after you have reached them, you will have to disable them. And which one of these two little vessels has the advantage? Based, of course, always on their equipment. So let's take a look at the Anvil Hawk, at its weaponry. It comes with 6 mounts in total, 2 size 1 and 4 size 2, which are not that scary, if you ask me. The biggest threat of the Hawk is actually the EMP device it comes equipped with that will allow it to disable its targets and capture the criminals alive. It may not come with missile weaponry, but that EMP device is going to be a fearsome and very useful tool for every bounty hunter out there in the verse. The Stalker, on the other hand, doesn't have any specialized equipment like that. It doesn't come with an EMP device, but it comes with 3 mounts, one size 3 and 2 size 2. And while the size 3 mount is equipped with a Tiger Strike T-21 ballistic gatling, a weapon that we can find in every Avenger variant right now, the 2 size 2 mounts are equipped with 2 Sucker Punch distortion cannons. And this is exactly the tool, the distortion cannons, that the Avenger Stalker is going to be using in order to disable its targets. Obviously, these distortion cannons are not as efficient as an EMP device and will require a lot of practice for a bounty hunter to properly hit his targets and drain their power in order to capture them alive. The Stalker though comes with some missile weaponry as well. In total, it comes with 2 size 3 missile racks that can carry 2 size 2 missiles each, so it can have up to 4 size 2 missiles. And let's not forget that in the future it is quite possible that we are going to see EMP missiles coming to the game, missiles that the Stalker will be able to carry and use effectively, and maybe these missiles are going to be as effective as the EMP device of the Hawk. Obviously, the biggest difference is that missiles are susceptible to countermeasures, while the EMP has no countermeasure right now in the game, but this might change in the future. So based on their default loadout, the Hawk seems to be a lot more capable to disable its target and capture them alive, capture the enemy vessel intact, while the Stalker will rely most on draining power with distortion cannons and trying to destroy the thrusters or do enough damage to the power plant of the enemy in order to neutralize them and then capture them. After you have neutralized your target and you have captured them alive, you will have to carry them around and get them to an advocacy office in order to collect your reward. Both of these vessels have a special room, a special place to keep your subdued targets. The Hawk has a holding cell where you can keep your subdued targets, but it is only one cell, which means that you will be able to carry only one target at every given moment. Another info about this holding cell is that we cannot remove it, but we can use it instead as a bed, which means that we can use it as a logging out mechanism. The Stalker, on the other hand, has 6 holding cells in its cargo bay instead of cargo, where we can keep subdued criminals and we can go from one bounty hunting mission to another, collecting criminals if this is what we want, increasing our payout in the end. Since the Stalker can transfer up to 6 criminals at the same time, this is also creating some new opportunities. Maybe in the future we will have missions that will require from us to transfer criminals from one prison to another. Unlike the Hawk, in the Avenger Stalker you don't have to enter one of the prisoner pods, the holding cells, in order to sleep and log out of the game, but it comes with its own bed, an interior, where you can not only log out but also store some components or items or weapons. So we can see that the Stalker has much better utility than the Hawk, and it is going to be a lot more versatile vessel than the Avenger Hawk is going to be. A couple more details I would like to mention about the Stalker have to do with its cockpit, where we can find 3 displays where we can choose the most important info for us to be displayed at all times, and the visibility from the cockpit, which is absolutely amazing, and not only for admiring the view, but clear visibility is going to be very important for allowing you to have better situational awareness and monitoring your targets easier. From all this info, it seems that the Hawk has the best equipment capable of neutralizing your targets, which is the EMP device. Of course, the Stalker might be equipped in the future with some very capable EMP missiles that will give you a lot more flexibility with your loadouts, and of course the targets you can go after. As it is right now, if the afterburn speed of the Hawk doesn't change, then the Avenger Stalker has a much bigger advantage as a solo bounty hunter, but if the Hawk's afterburn speed is corrected eventually, then I think it will be an excellent solo bounty hunter vessel. To me, the Hawk is a very focused ship, going for one specific target, neutralizing him, capture him alive and getting him back to the advocacy office. While the Avenger Stalker is a more versatile vessel that can be a very good asset in any dogfight and at the same time could sometime in the future be used for transporting criminals or other type of transporting missions in order to increase your payout. This is of course my personal opinion and I would like always to hear yours. Which one of the two, the Hawk or the Avenger Stalker, you consider as the best solo bounty hunter vessel and why? Thank you very much for joining me. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. I am SquidofLove and I will see you around the verse. Bye bye.